Hello, my name is Saleemul Huq. I'm Director of the International Center for Climate Change and Development at the Independent University of Bangladesh in Dhaka. I'm very sorry I can't be with you on this occasion, but I'm very happy to be able to give you some thoughts and share some experiences from Bangladesh, which is, as you all know, one of the most vulnerable countries to the impacts of climate change, and one in which we already are seeing very active migration from mainly from the rural to the urban areas to Dhaka city. Dhaka city, the capital of Bangladesh, is the fastest growing megacity in the world. It's now well over 15 million people. And we also have cross-border migration from Bangladesh into India and other countries. At the moment, most of this migration is economic migration with some environmental factors like river erosion in it. But as we go along with climate change, and particularly sea level rise in the low-lying coastal area, we will be seeing many, many more migrants having to move, being displaced and forced to migrate. Nobody wants to migrate, but they have to migrate due to the impacts of sea level rise in particular, as well as other climate change impacts. At the moment, what we are seeing is a gradual increase in salinity in the drinking water, and there are millions of people drinking saline water, and a particularly vulnerable group amongst them are pregnant mothers who, because they have to drink saline water, have hypertension, which can be leading to preeclampsia and to stillborn deaths. And this has been very well documented by researchers in southern Bangladesh. And that is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what kind of impacts will follow in the coming years. So although it's at the moment a very tricky topic to try and identify who are climate change migrants and who are not, it isn't difficult to predict in the future that there will be millions of climate change migrants who will have to leave because of the impacts of climate change. And in Bangladesh, we estimate that there will be in the tens of millions from the low-lying coastal areas over the next 2 to 3 decades. They will mostly be going to Dhaka, and Dhaka cannot absorb that many more people, so we are going to have to find ways in which we can get them to move to other cities other than Dhaka by investing in these other cities and creating jobs. And in fact, the government of Bangladesh is actively looking at the options where migration can in fact be a adaptation to the impacts of climate change over the time scale of the next 10, 20, 30 years, particularly by investing in the young girls and young boys of today to enable them to be skilled, educated, to be able to get jobs so they don't have to end up being fishers and farmers like their parents, and they don't have to live in those areas where these livelihoods will no longer be viable in the long run. So even though climate change impacts are going to cause a lot of damage and a lot of displacement of human beings, if we plan for it well, then we can actually help them adapt to those movements, and people can move at their own volition rather than be forced to move. So there may be a silver lining where we can turn a problem called migration into a solution called adaptation.